carrying on from my last rant of me missing, like, just generally, like, Regina George ass white girls, as opposed to this new breed of white girls that just, like, puts on basically the persona of a black woman for whatever the fuck reason, because y'all be appropriating our black shit, our indigenous shit, for aesthetic, for whatever. But, like, have you tried, like, looking back at your uncolonized European roots? Because y'all got some cool shit there too, like Norwegian, like Scandinavian, Italian. Like, y'all got some cool shit back there too, like decolonized culture. Like, you got some pretty awesome aesthetic. Those Viking braids and shit, those are beautiful. Like, why don't you take that? Like, why don't you take that? Because that's yours. You know what I mean? Like, if you, for whatever reason, to reconnect with your roots, or for fucking aesthetic, like, that's yours. Take that. Why you gotta take ours? Why don't you take that? Because it is really fucking cool. And that's the shit about whiteness, right? Like, that's the evil of whiteness. It took all of us, and it stripped us all of our culture. It stripped us all of all the cool things that make us each unique, and forced us all to fit in this terrible racist, sexist structure, this fucking box, for the purpose of control. Whiteness fucked everybody over. It took away everybody's culture. It's just that you get to benefit from being white, because that's how the system is set up, and you get to benefit from that. But, like, y'all got some really cool, like, pre-colonization shit that you can draw from. Why don't you look at that? Why don't you do that instead of trying to be us, pretending to be us? You know, again, adding on, like, how fucked up it is because you can get away with it because you're white, and we have to walk through the world trying not to be too black, trying not, you know, and sometimes trying to be black enough, like, just never being enough, and just suffering because, you know, being black, being indigenous, like, you know, on top of that being the main reason why you should just fucking quit it. Why don't you reach back into your own fucking roots? Or maybe you forgot in your whiteness, you forgot that you even had any of that shit outside of the construct of whiteness. Maybe you forgot that. We don't have the luxury of forgetting. We cannot forget, because we're literally faced with it every single morning when we look in the mirror or just step outside the house. Like, we don't have the option of forgetting, you know, our place outside of whiteness, because a lot of us just completely exist outside of whiteness. But maybe you've forgotten that y'all have that. Yeah. Like, if that's what you're going for, why don't you search that? Why don't you search that? Because before white men decided that white was a thing, that's what you were. You know? So decolonize yourself the way that we've been doing. Just don't do it like us. Don't do it by fucking copying us. You can decolonize yourself too. Be free. And this is very rare. Very rarely do I hype up white people on my channel. But seriously, this is a rare moment. Decolonize yourself in your way without copying us. You totally can. You totally can. But like I said, maybe you forgot. Maybe you forgot because you're so in the idea of whiteness. And it's probably not, it's not your fault. It's not necessarily your fault. Like, that, you know, that's the society we were born in. That's how we were raised to view people. White, black, brown. Maybe it's not necessarily your fault. But if you haven't heard it before, I'm telling you now. that there was a decolonized you, like as far as your culture and shit, like there was a decolonized culture of yours before the concept of whiteness was a thing. If you want like a different aesthetic that's not Regina George, draw from that. Just stop copying us. Like I said, it hits different. Not better, but different. That's all I'm going to say.